Next, we're gonna hear from Michael Pattison with the fire department in Seminole County, Florida. First, I'd like to say that Michael has been the fire department technology coordinator for Seminole County government in Florida since 2017. He has led key projects, including the implementation of countywide computer-aided dispatch, or CAD systems as we know them, with new mobile computing devices and vehicle routers. Michael specializes in managing fire rescue technologies, ensuring interoperability, and advancing systems like LMR technology and FirstNet readiness. His work enhances emergency response capabilities and improves the delivery of critical services in Seminole County, Florida. So with that, Michael, take it away.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me today. What I would like to talk to you about is an initiative that we have partnered with our local District 5, our DOT reps, to improve our emergency preemption system. So the system streamlines emergency responses and reinforces the safety of our first responders and the public. Today, I'm going to explain kind of the structure and operating of the system, and also discuss the current implementation and how it benefits the community, and also essential parts of the effort. So I want to give you a little background, because our county is one of the smallest counties in Florida. We're actually the third smallest. We only have 345 square miles, but despite the size, we have a robust and comprehensive fire department system. So we have 6 fire departments under our umbrella, and that covers 7 cities. We have a total of 30 stations, and 2 more will be built in the next year. What sets us apart as an agency, or a group of agencies, is that we use a single dispatch system to dispatch to all our local inside the county fire departments. So we use a CAD, Central Square Enterprise CAD. It uses GPS location, or AVL location, active vehicle location, to be able to dispatch the closest available unit to the incident, regardless of what jurisdiction or what department is at it. Additionally, all the fire departments inside of Seminole County are also ALS certified, or not certified, equipped, I apologize. Meaning that every unit is outfitted to handle critical medical emergencies, ensuring the highest level of pre-hospital to our residents, pre-hospital care. The results of this is allowing us to consistently achieve arrival times of 5 minutes or less to anywhere in the county. And by doing this, we keep investing in technologies to help us get better, and also to hopefully save more lives. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is the emergency vehicle preemption system, and how it helps us get better, and how it helps us get to those calls faster. And mainly that does is by giving us green lights. So it is used by other departments inside the county, like our public transportation. It can be used for our law enforcement, and of course, road rangers. But there's 2 systems out there, and I'm going to explain what we have now and what we were able to do with our traffic engineering and our DOT support. So our emergency preemption we use now is using line of sight, or it's called Opticom IR, and it's an emitter that sends a IR signal to a traffic intersection that has equipment there to accept it. It then can triggers the traffic signal to change and give us the green light, which is then locking up the whole intersection. So there is some limitations to that, though. And those limitations for us is, of course, line of sight. So if we have any areas that have curves, or obstructions, trees, vehicles that are in front of us that are taller than our apparatus, then we won't get the triggered light. So then we're stuck trying to get people to move out of the way to transport the patient or get to that structure fire. Other issues is, because it is a line of sight, if there's multiple lights back to back, don't skip yet. Just on slide 2, please. Thank you. We also have, if multiple intersections are in line of each other, then we could actually trip multiple intersections in a row, which then cause us to lock up even more intersections. And if we have to turn in one of those, now we're affecting traffic and even causing a worse buildup. All right. So what I'd like to next part. So the benefit to us using GPS is with our partnership, we would have looked at our original system. We were looking to go with that would be GPS through Opticom would have been about $5 million. And by doing it through our partnership, we were able to save the county that money and do it through a grant funding through a DOT, which allowed us to have them outfit our vehicles with the needed hardware and incorporate it with our vehicle routers, which I'll explain more later on. That provides us with the connectivity that's needed to make the system work. So our routers that we have now provide sub-second dispatch or sub-second pings. So if you got the way the routers work is it has two cell services in it, both Verizon and AT&T, and it will, if there's a heading change, it also provides heading changes. So we might be pinging every second, and if we get a heading change, now it's sub-second pinging. So that allows us for more proactive understanding of where our vehicles are and allowing us to clear the intersections that much faster, which then frees up the traffic pattern. So other pieces in the vehicle, which I'll go over, is the API that we have directly with DOT, and also a web relay that provides information and allows us to put a status indicator in trucks. Next slide, please. So just quick overview of the today and going to what we're doing now. So as I said, all the other agencies at you have multiple pieces of hardware that make the Opticom system work, from software at traffic engineering, intersection controllers, phase controllers, and of course the IR equipment that has to receive it. So you've got a lot of maintenance that's involved. So the benefit to using AVL is it's all software driven. You don't have to have all the extra pieces to make the emitter work, where GPS, as long as we have that connection sending the information directly to our DOT, they can know where our vehicles are in real time. And then that system then controls where the vehicles are and how to change the lights at a certain time period. So next slide, please. So here's just a quick breakdown. So the workflow. So status lights, of course, the web relay. What that does is when we get a preemption, and this happens a lot, is we might have two apparatus coming from different directions. So by having an emitter or an actual light inside the cab, we are allowing our crews to know they've got the light. So that, they always need to go and be cautious going through an intersection. But now you got two emergency vehicles from different directions. This one knows they've got the light. This one knows they did not. So it allows us, so as soon as that one truck gets through light with the new GPS system, it'll automatically start cycling light to let the second vehicle through. So it advances that, so you don't have that wait and hold time. So with the design that our TMC, our regional traffic manager, designed, they've given us a dashboard so we can see what's going on, when the lights are triggered, where the vehicles are, and also giving us reporting when stuff doesn't work. So the limitations to this is we don't want to get green lights everywhere we go. That would be disturbing to the whole traffic pattern. So what we've done is we've put in different senses or different requirements that our lights have to be on. We have to be in motion for a certain amount of time, and that the system is knowing the exact precise location of that unit. So once all those things are there, it turns on the preemption, starts changing the lights. When we get to an intersection where there's a major incident, this will actually help, because what happens with preemption now, if we're in an intersection and it does not shut off the emitter, that light is locked for that truck as long as it sits there clearing the intersection. So what we've done is with GPS is now it knows, okay, it's been sitting there for 30 seconds, minute, turn off the preemption, because they're either in park, their lights have changed. They went from a white light or a emergency lights to a white light, which is scene lighting. And that allows the system to know they don't need preemption anymore. Let's start cycling lights back. So we've definitely seen an improvement there. Next slide, please. So this is a quick overview of what we have right now and what we've been able to do. So of our 300, we got over 400 intersections, but 336 of them have already been configured for GPS-based preemption. We have routers, over 160 routers installed in our trucks that will provide for emergency dispatch. And of those, we're testing a demo batch right now of 6 of them in our major congested area of Altamont Springs. So with that, we're able to see and start to get the information back to know, is this going to, if it's going to work in that heavy congested area, it should be seamless in those other areas. So all this is reportable. All this data will be then provided to us where we can review, and then we'll move forward with the next installation process. Go ahead, please. So as I was saying earlier, so the way it works is you have a cone, just like any other GPS. You would have the vehicle position, the heading, speed, and then it's with this cone, this can be adjusted for length depending on if the speed of the vehicle. So if the vehicle is coming to an intersection and there's traffic there, it may need to be longer to get that traffic out of their way before they get there. So with that, it can be calculated. We can see, hey, they had to stop for 30 seconds. They had to stop for a minute waiting for traffic to be clear out of their way. Now we can work with our DOT representatives to expand that cone to start freeing up that intersection. With that, we're also going to be looking at future. We'll be adding it to our CAD system. That's phase 3, which will just be great because we can start plotting routes. We can know, okay, this is going from this here to here. Less than we know it's going to turn here, and it will start clearing those lights depending on their location ahead of time, so they know they don't have to wait for that turn signal or wait for that straightaway. Now there is restrictions, of course. You know, pedestrians, trains, we're not going to get preemption over those, but we do have priority over everything else. Next slide, please. So here's some more stats. In the last month, we've already sent out over 2,000 preemptions at an average of only 29 seconds. So that's how long we had to hold that light for. So comparable, most of you guys that are in traffic engineering, you know that those lights, you know, you're holding up traffic a lot longer with the IR version of this because it's got a set timer that you put in place that says, okay, if it gets preempted, we're going to hold it for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it takes to recycle everything back to normal. But with us going through these, it'll go back to its normal pattern almost instantly as soon as we clear the intersection. We also have, you know, to help with testing, we decided not to, of course, affect our local traffic. We set up test stations both at our TIM and also at our fleet department so we can test all the systems, make sure it works, and get feedback there before we deploy these in the field. Of course, we're going to have planned improvements, remaining vehicles that we need to do the installs on, additional lights that need to be set up with this capability. A lot of that is just getting the technology advanced at those intersections that don't have it already. Next slide. So this is going a little bit more in depth, like I said. So we use MG90 Sierra routers. They are a dual modem router for active communication. So that means no matter if you got hurricanes or anything, we will, if you have a service go down, which we've had Verizon go down, AT&T picks up immediately or is already there. They don't know, the guys in the field have no idea they've lost signal. So we have, since we deployed these over, I want to say 5 years ago, we've had 0 loss of missed calls because of having the redundancy. So the addition that we've added for the preemption is, of course, the web relay. That's the in-cab light to let everybody know that, hey, you know, you got the preemption, and then of course our trigger from the lights, knowing the lights are on. Next slide. So some of the other technologies that we work with right now is the connected vehicle project that's actually going in tandem with our preemption, that's the vehicle to vehicle communication. So that's something that we're looking at. We've gone and adding, there's going to be a new antenna on the roof. It provides GPS. We're again using our routers to provide internet, so we're saving on cell cost. And then there will be a screen on the dash or in the truck so that the crews know, hey, there's a vehicle communication. They can get alerts from the TEM or other vehicle statuses or weather, all through connected vehicle. which doesn't sound like much, but it's very useful when you're, you have your radio communication. We have our computers that are in the trucks to get the CAD information, but to be able to provide and know what's happening around you is definitely provide some insight to the field, especially when we're trying to get on scene in those 5 minutes or less. Next slide. So I have contact info, but before I go to that, I know I have a few more minutes. Other technologies that we're working with, and this goes out to anybody that's out there, fire departments have grown significantly when it comes to technology. And every tool is a life-saving tool, just like what using the dollies for the wreckers. We use drones, we use mobile data computers in the trucks. There's so many different pieces that we can advance to make this better, that I'm willing to share. So if anybody has any questions or needs anything, I know we're going to have a question and answer after this, but I'm happy to help any way I can. I want to give feedback for our DOT rep, Aurelio. Him and the developer have been amazing. They really saved the county tons of money to make this better and get us to call faster and safer for the community. And then, of course, our installer Brand Motion, Hayden over there, they're doing all of our installs, and it definitely meets the EVT requirement, which is to make sure our vehicles stay safe, because they're definitely a very expensive vehicle. So we want to make sure we have installers that meet the requirements. And of course, last slide is my contact info. So if anybody needs to reach out, happy to help. And that's it.